Let's see the attendees coming in there. Hey, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to our SEO to SAIO
Hey,
webinar. As we let people join in, I'd love to understand from everyone here who's hopping in, what do you use in your daily work, your daily life? Do you use GPT? Do you use Perplexity, Gemini, Claude? What's your favorite? Sound off in the chat and let me know. I'm just going to give everybody a couple minutes to get in before we get started. Lizette says Zaya from Zendy for research and ChatGPT for everything else. Interesting. I haven't heard of that one. I will check it out. Anyone else? What do you guys use in your daily life? I'm a ChatGPT guy myself. Trevor is using everything. ChatGPT, Perplexity, Copilot, Claude. Do you have a favorite, Trevor? Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that everybody is here. Trevor's saying writing is Copilot. Okay. Can see that. Just gonna give everybody one more minute to join in. I see Tobias Otley has joined us. It's a good friend of mine. So shout out to Toby.
Yeah, Perplexity is really good for research.
Yeah.
Notice Gemini is very good with writing. It's not as AI-ish, in the outputs as ChatGPT.
I hear that. I hear that for sure. Okay. Well, guys, I think we'll give everybody else just, 30 more seconds to get in there. Guys, if you have any questions, yeah, that was the best question. Amber and Greg, yes, you will get a recording afterwards. We'll send it out to you guys via email. But if you have any questions, put them in the chat. We'll be able to address them at the end. We do have a ton to get through today, so I cannot wait to get through that with you guys. We're going to go through this webinar. It's going to be about 45 minutes, and then we'll set aside time for questions at the end. Really looking forward to answer as many of your questions as we can.
I would
Okay.
actually recommend you not to skip the webinar and look for the recording, because there's a special offer at the end. And we only have 10 spots available for that one, and we have quite many attendees. So hope you won't miss it, Really good one.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Aricia, for that reminder as well. Yeah, stick around at the end. We do have a bit of a freebie, a giveaway. Can't wait for you guys to see it and take advantage of it. So let's dive into it, right? Let's talk about what's on the agenda. Let's just go on to the next one. Perfect. As you see, it's a long agenda here today, but it's going to go by pretty quickly. We're going to quickly introduce you to myself and my co-hosts here. Talk about what is SAIO or AISO or any of those other names you call it. We're going to talk you through what common AI engines are and how they make decisions on how they rank different companies, and looking at key factors for that AI ranking. We of course aren't just talking speculatively. We do have some case studies we're going to go through, and then we will leave some time at the end for questions and answers. So without further ado, let's head over and meet our hosts. And I'm Robert Zigans. I'm a business development executive here at 42DM. Really happy to be here. Got about 15 years of experience in digital marketing, and SAIO I know is just disrupting everything right now. With me, of course, is Makita. He's a performance marketing expert with more than 14 years of experience. He's worked with B2B, B2C, web, mobile, from startups to enterprises. He's done it all, and he covers paid advertising and SEO at 42DM. Also with us, we've got Aricia. She has a decade of experience in digital marketing for B2B tech, has a lot of SEO experience, and generated some billion-dollar companies leads from organic search. She's also got, and I think which is what brings a lot of value to this webinar, is that she's got a degree in linguistics, and she wrote her diploma work on SEO semantics, which is a key aspect of the AI part of SAIO. Moving right along. Telling you a bit about us. So 42DM, as it says right there, it's a global full-service B2B marketing agency. We've helped numerous companies from enterprise all the way down to startup and back up again, just deliver really great results for them. I think three key things that set us apart is that we're very, very AI driven, as you can see in this, as you'll see in this webinar. We're very agile, and we've got the expertise to really drive B2B success well within 3 to 6 months for most of our clients. These are just a handful of the clients that we've worked with, some of them with SEO and SAIO, but we'd love to add your brand logo to this list of success stories here. With that, I'm going to hand that over to Aricia, who's going to take you guys through the what is SAIO. And if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Aricia, over to you.
Thank you so much. So nice to see everybody. Thank you for spending your morning, afternoon, or evening with us. Before I proceed, I would like to give two disclaimers. So one disclaimer is that we're all marketing people here working on different ways to promote businesses and exploring how to leverage SAIO and AI search engines in marketing. So again, we're not AI engineers, and all of the information that we will be giving you, all the factors, come from our research and from our case studies. So we tested those things on ourselves, tried them on our clients, saw real results, and we brought them to you. So obviously, SEO is really hot right now. Some of you may have noticed the drop in organic traffic to your websites due to the appearance of AI search overviews. But sort of to evaluate how hot the topic is, you may have noticed that we did a little poll when you were signing up, asking you basically at what stage you are regarding SEO. Would you like to hear the results? We summed them up, and we have like the percentage among our audience for this webinar, who are mostly B2B and B2C marketers, founders, and CEOs. If you'd like to hear those percentages, please put a plus in the chat.
Absolutely. I think I speak for everyone.
Yeah, we have many different businesses here. So we were just interested in like what other people are doing. Are people also as interested in SEO as we are? Thank you so much. So basically, most of those who signed up, around 35%, are just learning about it. So they're pretty new to it. 20% are researching solutions, 20% started implementation, and 10% are already seeing results. So those of you who are already seeing results, feel free to share your experience in the chat. And also, please share your questions in the chat. I believe once we go through our presentation, all the materials that we've prepared, we'll be able to answer them. So what is SAIO? We had multiple clients come to us with this issue of the traffic drop, basically. It started with the AI search overviews, and then ChatGPT and Perplexity came on board, and they completely changed the way people look for information, because now the search landscape looks totally different. A lot of people rely on AI-generated answers, featured snippets, and zero-click search outcomes, and they don't even need to go to the actual websites to read this information. Which means if your content isn't adapted, optimized for that new format, you might be missing out. And that's where SAIO comes in. If I can please have the next slide. Thank you. So I don't know how you guys call it, and if there's like one universal way to call it, but it's honestly a mess. Like we've encountered SAIO, GEO, so generative engine optimization, AI engine optimization, AI search optimization. We were looking for the most high volume keyword to call our commercial page about the service, and we couldn't find it because they're all pretty like tight contenders, right? So I guess we opted for AI search optimization, but if you have your preferences, put them in the chat. But basically all of these names matter because they sort of hint on the factors that matter for SAO promotion and for optimizing your business to get featured in AI recommendations. And now, if you, Mikita, could give us a more serious definition of what SAO is.
Yeah, of course. Hi, everyone. Really appreciate you with us. And let's be serious now and unpack what SAIO actually means. and it actually stands for Search Artificial Intelligence Optimization. And sometimes, of course, you can also hear the GEO, which means Generative Engine Optimization. And basically, like, it is kind of a next step in the evolution of SEO. And while traditional SEO focused more like on improving your website or ranking on search engines like Google, so SAIO actually shifts the focus to making your business visible and relevant within AI-powered search results and some conversational chatbots. This is crucial because AI tools like Google AI Overviews, Gemini, like ChatGPT, there's SearchGPT, Bing Copilot, Perplexity, and others, they are changing the way people search and find information online. So SAO is all about optimizing your content and sites to appear in these AI-driven experiences, not just the classic search results we used to. So now why SAO is kind of next generation of SEO. From my point of view, it is kind of an upgrade to what we're doing with SEO. But despite that, I believe it is kind of a strategical must-have for the future if you want your business prepared, like to be discoverable, to stay discoverable, relevant, and competitive. And to put this in perspective, let's consider these stats. So when AI reviews actually appears in Google, the CTR for the top position, CTR stands for click-through rate, it actually drops by 34.5%. It's this kind of massive shift from the old search dynamics we relied on. And ChatGPT alone now gets around like 3.7 billion visits every month. And that numbers keep growing, which means more and more people are turning to AI chatbots as their go-to source for answer. And according to Gartner, traditional search engines actually like expected to see 25% decrease in traffic as AI-driven search takes over. So those 25% actually will go to the AI searches. And as I remember, like they actually predicted until the end of 2026. So these numbers point to one thing: the future, like, probably will be the AI first. Larissa, please, hands here.
Sure. So a lot of clients ask us if it's actually worth investing in, right? Like if SAO is worth consideration, worth spending your marketing bucks on. And there isn't one definite answer because it actually depends on a lot. So if you look at the graph on the left, you can see how AI overviews really affected click rates on Google. Like Mikita just shared, 35% is the difference, right? For the first organic result, when AI overviews are present, they lose about 35% of traffic. So it does indicate that marketers need to do something about it, right? But will SAO compensate for that traffic? We'll see about that. So basically, what's important to know about SAO is SAO can pull results from websites that are far from the first page of Google Organic, which means a new chance for businesses who were lagging behind on SEO. And it also means that traffic might no longer be a marketing success metric in the future. Basically, we're not saying SAO is going to replace SEO. No. But SAO is an upgrade of SEO. And if you are good with your SEO and you make a little adjustment to the SAO, you are likely to succeed. And you need to make sure that your content is citable and referenceable. So basically, it's about going where your audience is. The answer is, it is a must for those whose audience is using AI answer engines. If your audience is tech savvy, developers, marketers, founders, analysts, and they are actively using ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini for search, research, for comparing vendors, then it's worth giving it a try. You can see that, in fact, right now, combined traffic for those AI search engines rivals Reddit. So it shows a really good interest in them, and a lot of people are using them. And also, there's information about the preferred AI answer engines for your location. So, for example, if you're targeting North America, like we do, you can see the percentage of like US market share for ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and you can know optimizing for which answer engine you should invest in, because it is a little different. Mikita will guide us through the different factors. And also the question is whether SAO is for every business. Well, it's not. We've identified from talking to many clients in many industries, some businesses where SAO is not a good fit for now. Maybe it will be in the future, but for now, for example, if your business depends highly on local search, like if you have a small restaurant, salon, or repair service, most likely you are going to benefit more from traditional local SEO tactics like Google My Business profile optimization, ensuring your reviews, maps, and visibility in the local search. Also, if you are relying a lot on the branded search traffic, you probably won't need SEO. You just need to sort of like shape your brand sentiment with AI engines, right? And then if you offer something highly visual, if your audience wants to see what you do, like if you are in art or real estate, basically for now, AI search engines are not very good with that type of content. But it may change in the future. But also there are businesses who will benefit a lot from it. And one of such businesses is one kind is those who are in highly saturated, highly competitive niches. And basically, it's a perfect scenario for if you are not number one in Google Organic because you have a competition who spends far, bigger budgets on organic promotion, who has bigger budgets for advertising. SAO can give you this exposure that your competitors might not have if you do it right. The second one is relying on content for lead gen. If you produce a lot of content that's educational, entertaining, you basically already have a basis for building your SEO on top of. And then again, if your audience is very research focused, research driven, this is probably your new channel. So what actually matters for promoting an SEO, for being recognized, for a business to be recognized by AI search engines? Mikita.
Yeah, let's take a quick look. So how exactly SAO different from traditional SEO? And it is not about just tweaking keywords or backlinks anymore. So SAO brings together, from our perspective, 4 key areas to help your business get noticed in both classic search engines and this new AI-driven tools. And first, SEO remains super important. For me, it is still the main factor, your foundation. So making sure your content ranks well across traditional search results so that it can rank in AI-powered ones. And there is more, like digital PR steps in to boost your credibility and extend your reach. When AI sees your content is trusted and referenced widely, it is more likely to surface it in search results. And then we have social media marketing and thought leadership. So sharing your expertise and building your authority online, it actually tells AI that you are a go-to source, which helps your content to rank higher. And so as a final step, we call it data amplification. And this is all about optimizing your company information, your structured data and profiles, so AI can easily find, understand, and recommend your businesses. So SAO is really a blend of these 4 disciplines working together to get your business front and center in this AI-driven search world. And let's look at factors that affect AI search optimization. And we will start with ChatGPT. According to this research on generative engine optimization, there are some clear winners when it comes to what helps you rank. At the top, we have authoritative list mentions, and this is making up 41% for ChatGPT. And that basically means getting cited and trusted curated list. This actually citation is huge for visibility. And next up, awards, accreditations, and affiliation. So having verified credentials and industry recognitions really counts. Online reviews for ChatGPT comes approximately at 16%, showing how much user feedback influences ranking. Real-world customer experience and usage data also matter, and that's 14%. So sharing actual case studies or proof of your product in action makes a difference. And finally, for ChatGPT, social sentiments at 11%, those are highlights that what people say about your brand on social media, and it impacts how you're ranked. And what does this all add up to? So trust signals, social proofs are key here. So this should be front and center in your SEO efforts if you want to perform well with ChatGPT. Now let's take a look at Perplexity. The ranking factors here are slightly different, but with some familiar themes. Authoritative list mentions are even more dominant here, like up to 64% of importance, let's say. And clearly getting your name on respected expert list is critical to rank well with Perplexity. And online reviews also important, 31%, proving the power of customer opinions and ratings. And overs and accreditations drop down to 5%. They're like still relevant, but a little less compared to ChatGPT. And overall, Perplexity puts more weight on direct user feedback and trusted mentions, again, highlighting the need to build this solid credibility and positive experience. And at last, let's look at Gemini. So we see a mix of familiar and some unique ranking factors here. Authoritative list mentions still on the top, remain significant as 49%. This showing continued value in trusted third-party endorsements. And notable factor unique to Gemini is Google Website Authority. Also, like you can reference to domain rank, for example, at 23%, which suggests Gemini's results lean on Google existing trust metrics. For, as we said before, your traditional SEO really matters here. And awards, accreditations, affiliations contribute 15%, online reviews to 13%. They both reinforcing the pattern that trust and validation matter greatly. And together, these factors indicate that while Gemini integrates traditional search signals like Google Authority, it still heavily values social proofs and endorsements. And understanding this difference can help you, like marketers and other guys, like tailor their content and reputation strategies to perform well across various generative search engines.
So
Wow.
now let's try to...
Sorry, I just want to hop in there. That's a ton of great information, Makita. Thank you so much for that. I just want to put this out to the attendees is, of those breakdowns, did anything really stand out to you guys? I'd love to hear in the chat. But while I'll hand it back over to Aricia. Sorry about that.
I can see Andre saying that the CTR drop is huge. It is indeed. It's terrifying. So now let's try to boil down all these factors to what businesses need to do to show up in AI search engines. And basically all of these actions, right, fall into 4 categories that we'll go into a little bit more details on the next slide. And the first one is conversational search. So we need to remember that AI tools are trained on natural language. And so your language on the website should totally reflect that. And it basically comes down to like FAQs ruling websites from now on, because you have to break down your business, your brand, what you do into questions that the audience might ask about your business, and then answer them in a clear, direct format. So think about blog headings, like if you have a SaaS product, how does your company name work? Like, how does your product work? How does it differ from your competition? What is your pricing? All these questions that the users might ask need to be answered on your website clearly. The second one is citations. They matter a lot. That's both the links on your website have to lead to reputable sources, reputable media, and the websites that refer back to you have to have a solid reputation, good domain authority, credible authorship. Like they all have to have a well-optimized with schema markup author pages with as much credibility provided, certifications, awards, badges, education, whatnot about your authors. And you have to do the same on your website, basically. So these are one of the first things we recommend our clients do when we optimize for AI search engines. Ensure credibility. And this leads us to this next factor, which the SEO guys know really well, probably too well at this point, right? EEAT, which stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness, for those of you who are not in SEO. So basically, it means making sure that you produce high quality, credible content, you back it up with relevant information, your business is registered on relevant government websites, business directories, basically that it's a valid organization, that all the services that they provide are legal, valid, all the authors who are contributing to their blogs have the expertise to contribute on those topics. And then the last but not least is helpfulness and context. Right now, you cannot just take the keyword, look at the competition, and like create one article that's going to be, repeating all of the articles that you saw in top 10. It's not going to work. You have to really contribute value this time, which is actually a good shift, if you ask me. And you're not just giving an answer to a specific question. You have to make it from a personal standpoint. You have to ensure it's a personal perspective backed up by your experience, by your case studies, that it's recent. Like AI engines really prefer recent content. And for example, when they look at the reviews, because you also have to develop your profiles on review platforms, it pays attention a lot to the most recent reviews. Yeah, you have to provide depth. You have to contribute a thought that's new or reshape a usual format. Like it has to be something that somebody's never done before. I know it's hard, but it is, as important as ever. So now let's look into those in more detail. Yeah.
Yeah, so here are actually a few key things every business should keep in mind when it comes to SAIO. And first, your website itself needs to be like fully indexable and easy for AI system to navigate. And if AI can't read your site properly, your chances like of showing up in AI-driven as like search drop dramatically. And second, ranking well on Bing is actually the big plus. So websites that do well on Bing tend to have a better shot at ranking in AI-powered search engines. Of course, like I'm talking about like GPT and ChatGPT. So insert using structured data markup like schema.org. It is like a smart move. It helps AI better understand what your content is about, and making it easier to match your site with relevant search queries. And Risa, would you mind please covering my content-related parts here?
Of course. So keywords still matter. Keywords matter, but they're a little bit different for SAIO than they were for SEO. Basically, you need to think in terms of those questions and answers. We're coming back to them again and again, so not just phrases. There are certain tools actually to help you do that. We're going to share a few of them, but even in SEO, when you were coming up with that outline, right, for the blog article, you were coming up with ideas for the FAQ section, you were using some tools like Answer the Public, for example. This is my personal favorite. So basically you can, again, break down your business into those key topics that are related to your business and then translate them into questions and provide answers to those. I did see a question about in the chat about the FAQ and glossary section. Will it work as helpful content? Yes, it definitely will. FAQs matter a lot as long as you do it in the right format, it's clear enough, and also you add structured data. And the same goes for glossary. I know that some businesses like to coin their own terminology to describe what they do. Right now, this is not the right time for it, so be careful with those. And Jessica, we are going to cover format in a little bit. Yes, so in terms of context, this is also important. You have to make sure you cover the topic from all the angles, so you don't just provide an answer. You provide a definition, then you provide some additional details. You talk about the adjacent areas, you provide pros and cons, you back it up with case studies, you ensure your text has links to reputable sources where you take your statistics from. So basically anything you can do to create context, give us as much context as you can, because for AI engines, they do need a lot of content, right, to provide smart outputs. In terms of the formats, yeah, there's going to be a whole different slide about the formats, but basically it has to be very, very clear. Your website has to speak machine fluently, right? You have to use headings, you have to use numbered and bulleted lists whenever you can, but not just list items, and give some explanations to them, go a little bit deeper into them. So the more skimmable, indexable your content is, the more likely it is to rank in AI engines. And also something interesting that we noticed is about content repurposing. AI engines tend to like content that is sort of repeated in various formats across various platforms. So basically you don't just create a blog article, post it on your blog and like cross your fingers, hoping for it to work. Now you repurpose it, you make a video out of it, for example, on the how-to topic. then you take this content and create a carousel for your social media and reinforce it with thought leadership. So repurposing is important. EEAT, of course, knowing who wrote the content, why they're credible. So author bios, credentials, experience, links to original sources. This is important. And objectivity. This is not the time to use, words like best or, best ever, top, industry leading in your content unless you have something to back it up. Like if it's a proven rating, listing, award to back it up, because basically AI is not going to like it. And something that's not here, but I would add it, is clarity. We had a case when our client was a product company, a software as a service product company, and their pricing for the product was not described clearly enough on their pricing page. They had something like, get in touch and we'll provide you with a quote or something. And it impacted their brand sentiment on AI engines, basically, because the users were asking about it. AI didn't know what to respond, and AI doesn't like it. And now the formats. So as for the formats, we came across this data and we actually agree with it. It totally coincides, with our experience. So lists, top 10 software as a service, marketing agencies globally, guide on how to use a certain product or how to solve a certain pain point that your audience has. It has to be dated, it has to be recent. And in terms of the exact formats that work, we noticed that Perplexity cites videos a lot. It actually does cite videos for some industries more often than for the others. For example, in marketing, it does use videos for like home decor, gardening. I saw this somewhere that it uses videos a lot. And also the format for blogs that works, our working formula that we're sharing here is a question, an answer, and then explanation. You don't like hide the answer to your question throughout the article. You give a plain and clear right at the beginning. And credibility content, again, to back it up. Case studies, personal perspective, personal opinions, etc. I can see some other questions. Maybe we'll answer them at the end, because we do have a lot of data to share with you guys today. So what are the metrics actually? How do you measure SAIO? I'm wondering if we have people on this webinar who have tried doing this and who have used these tools already. I'm just curious. If you have, please put a plus in the chat. The tools are HubSpot's AI Search Grader. Of course, HubSpot is at the forefront, right, as always. And then what did best to the right of date on formats graph mean? Oh, it means like comparisons, basically. So comparisons of different tools or listings, or comparing solutions to a specific pain point. But you shouldn't say best. You should say like top 10 solutions to blah, blah pain point. Okay, so I can see somebody use SEMrush. Well, SEMrush, unfortunately, is not enough for measuring. This is one of the biggest challenges in SAIO, is the traditional SEO tools don't show you the full picture. So you've got to use specialized tools. Luckily, both of them are free and you can try them out. So one is HubSpot's AI Search Grader, and it quickly checks how well your content is optimized for AI-generated engines. It scores your pages based on structure, clarity, and basically the quality of your content. And also there's Falcon Rank. This one goes a little deeper. It is focused on questions. So in Falcon Rank, you have to type in the exact keywords you're using to describe your business, and it generates questions that are likely to be asked in that category that your business belongs to. And then it shows which businesses are ranking for those questions. So this is pretty much like an AI version of a SERP tracker. So this is something we normally start with. They're not perfect, but it's a good start to measure the level, the extent of your AI visibility, and outline some areas. HubSpot actually provides some good recommendations when you run your business through it that will sort of set a baseline for your next steps.
Yeah, so after analyzing those possible factors and experiments in our project, we built kind of our own SAIO approach to help businesses to like get found by AI search engines. So we focus on 4 main parts. And first, of course, like is technical optimization. This means making sure your site is fully accessible to AI system so they can crawl and understand your content easily. And of course, you should implement and fine-tune your structured data, the schema markup, and optimize your website structure and XML sitemaps. Also, ensure all essential company information is fed clearly to AI platforms. And the second part is SEO tailored specifically for AI search. This involves creating content that designed not only to beat competitors, but also to match the kinds of questions and searches people are likely to ask to AI. And following this EAT guidelines, that stands for expertise, experience, authority, and trust, which AI values highly when ranking content. Like this is crucial. We also optimize for semantic search, meaning we focus on the meaning behind the queries, not just exact keywords. And finally, we support this with smart link building, aimed at getting you to the top pages on both Google and Bing. Again, Arisa, please, content part.
So what we also include in our SAIO package, and actually we're lucky that we're like a full-scale marketing agency, so we have digital PR specialists on board, and this is included in our SEO package. We ensure, like we pitch relevant media in your industry who are reputable, have good domain authority, and we make sure your business gets mentioned on marketplaces, on like media sources that matter for your audience, because that helps not only boost your domain authority, like in the good old SEO, but also your visibility for AI and your credibility for AI. And one thing that's not obvious is organic social presence. Many companies are investing heavily in marketing, but are not very active with social media, with LinkedIn, with Facebook, with Instagram. But it's actually good for this content repurposing that I mentioned earlier, making sure your content is present across as many platforms as possible. And this is where content syndication also helps. Interesting that Quora and Reddit work great here because they exactly mimic the format, right, that AI engines have. They have questions and answers. So in our SEO package, we also create high quality contributions to the relevant Reddit and Quora feeds or questions on behalf of our clients, but they have to be long, well thought out, and good quality. It's not just being present there or building links. And you don't even need to link back, actually. You just need to mention the brand.
Of course, it is better if you have both mentions and links. But
ideally, yes.
If you can't, so mentions anyway, like on the top resources, it's very important. Okay, so now let's go to some case studies and take a look at some real life examples how SAIO in actions was, and we will start with communication platform clients and story. According to some NDAs now, especially for just like new services SAIO, we cannot reveal the client's name. But anyway, I hope like some, you will get some ideas on what we do and how you can get benefit from SAIO. So this client actually had a so as I told you, it's a communication platform and that integrate voice and messaging with CRM systems to boost productivity for businesses. And they were work especially in recruitment area. And this client had like challenge, like the content optimized for traditional SEO, but there was no proven visibility or traffic from generative AI platforms. And the goal here, like for us, was clear. So we had to improve visibility on AI platforms and start driving some traffic from these sources, actually. And what did we do? So first, we analyzed the client's competitors to see how they performed on these AI platforms, and we identified some content gaps. And then we completely restructured the blog content according to SAO principles to improve discoverability on these platforms. And we also optimized this FAQ section based on the most frequent asked questions, of course, in AI systems like ChatGPT and Perplexity to help AI parse and rank this content better. We added structured data markups through all the pages like possible. And of course, we applied the EAT guidelines to strengthen the credibility on the content. And first results actually came very quickly, just 1 month later. And overall, the client was featured in 12 AI overview snippets on Google, including commercial keywords. Overall, they saw approximately 150 direct clicks from generative AI platforms over the next 2 months. And there was an 8% conversion rate from traffic generated by AI agents like Perplexity, ChatGPT, and Gemini. But for this client especially, like, it was mostly relies on ChatGPT. And their brand sentiment score actually on OpenAI ChatGPT is measured by HubSpot AI graded hit 66, and it was higher than average in this area. And this case study actually shows how effective it's to integrate SAIO into your SEO strategy, not only to gain this visibility, but also to drive some traffic. What we actually do, how we measure the traffic from this search engine. So we built, usually on J4, we built some custom wrappers with ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, other systems if they are present. So referral traffic from those systems to our website. And in custom reporting in J4, you can do this. And also includes, because for example, ChatGPT traffic could go as referral sources, and sometimes it could go as an organic sources. As I said before, so this clients most relied on ChatGPT. Sorry for hiding the numbers, but if I would say, so for this clients, it's 100 clicks. For other clients, it would be thousands actually. And next case, it is a software engineering company. So they were very specialized in a niche market. These clients wanted to increase their visibility and establish some strong online presence to attract and retain clients. And their challenge was clear. They needed to stand out in this competitive niche market and increase their visibility. And to tackle this, we implemented omni-channel marketing strategy targeting their ICP in the retail sector. And we focused on optimizing content for AI to improve discoverability and drive highly targeted leads. And over the course of 8 months, we developed and managed like thought leadership content that was optimized to rank well in AI-driven search results. And it was both like it's content recycling, content distribution across like different platforms, etc. And this not only boosted their visibility, but also showcased their expertise and strengthened their authority across all key platforms. And we saw 75% increase in positive sentiment across AI search engines, which is a huge win for brand perception. Traffic and leads from ChatGPT and Perplexity grew almost 3 times. And social media engagement shot up by an incredible 900%, that thanks to ongoing thought leadership efforts. And this case is a perfect example how a well-optimized SAIO strategy can elevate a niche business visibility, generate targeted leads, and increase engagement across multiple channels. Here's their graphs, and actually all major 3 ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini traffic. So we started work with them approximately here, like August, September, and it grows like 3 times in all major platforms here. And that's almost all from our side for today. And I want to pass my word to Rob here.
Awesome.
Actually, can I tell them about this? I'm very excited about this part. Can I be the one?
You go for it, Arisia. You do it.
Thanks,
Of
Rob.
course.
So while we will be answering your questions in the chat, by the way, if you have accumulated those questions, please feel free to paste them in the chat, but we'll start, I guess, from the top, right? There's a special offer that we've prepared for you, which is completely free, and you can basically find it via this QR code on your screen. We are offering a free SAIO audit and consultation to 10 businesses. What it means, this is something we do for our new clients to assess their AI readiness and whether optimizing for AI search engines is a good fit for them. So we basically look at their current website, look at their industry, do a basic evaluation of the questions that the users might be asking, what their brand sentiment is, and give some tips. All this is structured in the form of a document that you can keep afterwards, up to like 5 or 6 pages, I believe, the last one we did. And then it's going to be presented during a consultation, so on a meeting with Rob here. And you have to fill in a form. I'm sorry for that many questions, but we do need this information to prepare the customized audit. Yeah. So that once you actually fill it in, we will start working on the audit itself. Yeah, we've never actually done this thing before, and I'm excited. But yeah, we put like some work on in it, so there's only 10 spots left, or in general. So don't hesitate to,
Awesome.
hurry up.
Yeah. No.
So let us keep the
Aricia,
QR code for a few minutes, yeah?
Yeah, let's leave that up.
Let's leave
While
it
we're
here.
leaving that up and people are taking the time to go through it, we had a bunch of questions come in. I'll read them out to you guys and you can answer them. The first one that came in, I'm gonna go through the Q&A first and then go down the chat. But Brenna asked, how do you make sure your content is seen and helpful content? Who wants to take that?
Is that it, or is there something else? I feel like
So
we have more details
that
to answer
that
that.
was the key question there. How do we make sure it's helpful content? Like what is helpful content?
Okay, so you have to really do your research before creating your content. You have to pick the topic that is really relevant for your audience, like we did with the topic of this webinar, right? Many of our clients are asking about SAIO, so we took it as a webinar topic. We did our research and we combined all of the research that we did before, because as soon as that appeared, we started digging into it. And we created something that companies can use, an outline, basically. They can look at their business and use it as a checklist and evaluate, am I doing this? Am I doing this? Why am I not doing this? Should I start doing this? So really think about ways to educate your audience, to back it up with data, to solve their pain point. This is probably, the whole purpose of marketing in general. I don't know if it's helpful. If you provide more details, I'm sure I'll be able to answer more.
And probably you want to answer the questions that user ask about, like your topic, about your domain. So, for example, Rissa mentioned one of the tool. Rissa, could you remind the tool when you can find
Answer
the
the
real
public, but
questions?
there are many, answer the public, but there are many similar ones. Yeah, like there's one called Market Muse, I believe, that really helps with outlines for your blogs and like even the FAQs, and the results do make sense. So whatever you're comfortable with. Right now there are many tools. Even using ChatGPT to dig into some topics.
Even using just simple Google, you can find actually those questions in the people also ask section on Google search results.
Great advice, both. Thank you both. So the next question we've got is from Hide. I hope I said your name correctly. What about multilingual websites? Is the AI going to look through all the content or only English?
All of the content. to be shortly. So usually we work mostly with English because we focus on the North American market, UK markets, etc. But when we are facing like multilingual sites, so we want sometimes we do content recycling and want to be sure that the all major topics actually present on the website on both on any language that the site want to cover. And of course, users speaking with AI systems not only in English, so in their native language. So please cover all of those.
Yeah, but if you are targeting English-speaking markets, English has to be there, because if you don't have English on your website and you are targeting English-speaking markets, this is not going to work.
That's a fair point. Great point there, Aricia and Mikita. Trevor is asking, does backlinking work against SAIO?
As we told, like traditional SEO is very important, and like good link building strategy. It is about your domain rank and about your authority. So building good backlink profile is still very important even for SEO.
Yeah,
Google, for example, Gemini relies like a lot on the traditional Google search.
Definitely. What I've learned over the last few months, really learning from you guys, is that SEO kind of looks at this amount, and SAIO just opens that up to everything else. So SEO is still very important. So backlinking will help. If you rank well on Google, you're probably ahead of the curve of everybody else who's now starting on SAIO. Next question we've got from looks like Veronica. What about the FAQ and glossary section? Will that be considered helpful content?
I think we covered that already.
Sure.
So, and also Jessica asked about the format.
Yes.
So video, text, picture, something else. Everything. And I found a research that articles that are between like 1,000 and 1,500 words are like ideal, but don't make it a rule. Like don't stick to it too much, because it's in fact very specific to each industry and like even each keyword you want to rank for. In terms of picture, you've got to have pictures. So AI loves when like there are infographics and some helpful self-sufficient images supporting your content. So the normal rules for the number of pictures per article, I believe, can be taken from the SEO guidelines. Like you shouldn't have like 0 images. You should have them, use your common sense and try to visualize some data. It will definitely help.
And for images, please like do alt tagging and not just name the image like image 1 or image 2. Please like provide the full contents, what is this image is about.
Yes, absolutely. Darren's asking, what is Bing doing differently that makes it more important now? I know, Mikita, you mentioned that Bing, if you rank well in Bing, you tend to do better on AI.
It is mostly about the ChatGPT. So yeah, and also like Bing has their own reviews. So it is about the ranking to ChatGPT. But in general, we try to look, in both. Of course, Google still like the major player. Most of the traffic is there. But let's say if your investment to the future to looking at Bing also together with Google.
Got you.
Yeah,
Chris
also, I
Davidson
believe
had.
they're like more integrated with AI. Like there's this whole connection with Bing and Copilot, and like it is fully AI readable, AI friendly, more so than Google. So that could be why.
Yeah.
By the way, I mentioned CTRs in both like Google and Bing. So today I read some sum up from a Google conference, and actually they said they will implement it. I believe for US market they already implement advertising in AI snippets in Google. So I believe it will drop your CTR significantly too for organic.
Perfect.
And I wanted to address something that Rob said, that you have like if you have very good SEO and you're like in the top list. So we actually discussed this internally, and our opinion is that small businesses also have a chance with SAIO. Like they can compete with businesses who have a lot of domain authority, who invest a lot of budgets into their organic. And the reason is, if you create really helpful, really well-structured, to the point, direct, clear content, it can be picked up more easily by the AI engines, because with large organizations, especially in some specific domains, I know which domains our audience here is from, but in like consulting, they tend to use a lot of terminology. The readability usually is on the lower end. They tend to use terms that they coined themselves. Their language is very formal and not very specific often. I'm not saying that's a rule, but in many cases. So if a smaller consulting company comes on board and creates really useful, valuable, easily understandable content in that same industry, they have a much higher chance to appear in AI search results. So don't give up.
Awesome. So I know that we are just looking at the time and the number of questions we have left. I absolutely want to get to everybody's questions, but if we don't, I'm going to leave my, you can actually contact me. You can look me up on LinkedIn, or I leave my email in the chat. I absolutely want to answer all these questions. I just, want to be respectful of everybody else's time. So Chris Davidson had 2 questions. I want to just kind of get them out at the same time. Is there a recommended video length to stick with when including video content on pages? And then he's talking about, as they go back and optimize some of their top blog pages for SAIO, do they run the risk of impacting the SEO work that they've done that's earned them the top billings? Like, is that going to bring it down in SEO rank?
I can probably answer the video part of the question. Maybe Mikita has his opinion. I just say make them user-friendly. That depends a lot on what type of topic you're covering, what type of video it is. There are recommended lengths for like the company intro, or for explainer videos. So make it user-friendly. You have to ensure you have good user behavior, just like in SEO, that the users watch your video and like make use of it. Then AI will think it's something useful to share. So yeah, think about the users. Think about the overall guidelines.
And about like the length of the video. So I would definitely say that in advertising it matters, and those different formats like 15 seconds, 10 seconds, 20, like etc. But probably when if you're about like putting these videos on your website, you want to answer the users' questions, and it could take like minute, half an hour, an hour. So it depends on like what you wanted, like what content actually and what answers do you want to provide for the users. So we do not see any dependencies on the video length content and SAIO currently.
Okay. So the next question there from the next second part of that question from Chris is when they're optimizing SAI for SAIO, is that likely to impact the SEO negatively?
We are improving our traditional SEO, so we are not just targeting SAIO. So we do like we implement, let's say, this SAIO practice like above the traditional SEO, but it still will be the traditional SEO here. So I believe you will get more benefits than drops there.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. So Darren had asked something very specific. What did best to the right of date on the formats graph mean? I think we can come back to that.
Yeah, we did address that when I think I addressed that during the.
Okay, perfect. And Jessica was asking if there's a way to measure AI friendliness in the design phase of a new website. That's a great question. I think it'd be more about UX. If the UX is good, then it should be fine.
It's about the website structure. It's about the structure of your content, the semantic core of your website. So the usual SEO workflows you go through, and also the user friendliness in the CRO, because conversion rate optimization matters, user behavior in the website matters. It does contribute not only to your domain authority, but also to your AI visibility. So practically, I mean, SAIO is allowing us to go back to the good old classical marketing when everybody's focused on the users, user friendliness, providing value, like a utopia world. Makita, do you have your approach to this question?
The same as yours.
So unfortunately, yeah, if you're only designing it, I don't think, and like you're currently, there's nothing on your domain, you cannot run it through the tools, if that's what you're asking, or at least we haven't found such a tool. If somebody knows such a tool, post it in the comments. We'd love to find out. So on the design stage, that's about, yeah, the structure, user friendliness, and conversion rate. Planning for good conversion rates.
Yeah, so I could say from the technical perspective also, please ensure that your site it is still important. I see that some guys like actually miss this point. Please do the speed up. Let's say your site downloading speed. It is very important. Please check the Google Search Console and their metrics and try to improve all of them like to 100%. You can get benefits from it.
Love it. Okay, so we've got 2 more minutes and 3 more questions. So it's going to be a bit of a blitz. Ad Osborne has said, how do you approach off-page citations / digital PR for businesses that are image conscious, as links might be good from a technical perspective, but not necessarily positioning in every case? So maybe they got a link that's not necessarily the nicest thing being said about them.
Well, I'd say if the source is reputable, image cautious businesses can build up their reputation and can build up their positioning. So if the source is reputable, has good credibility, and is relevant to their industries, it doesn't matter if the business is image conscious or any other kind, it is going to help. And in terms of negative comments, we came across a research that said you should be addressing those. So if somebody left a negative review about your business, you should comment on it, you should respond to it, and you should bring it on the positive side. You should defend yourself basically, and it is going to impact your brand sentiment on AI. Like it is going to negate a little bit the effect of those negative reviews.
Yeah,
I don't know if the question was about this, but I think it might have been.
It was.
Just avoid ignoring the negative questions.
Yeah, like ignore them. Yeah, do not ignore them. Like try your best not to get them. But if you do get them, especially on social media, we recommend using social listening tools to assess your like brand sentiment in social networks and address those with comments, respond to them actively. This will help.
Awesome. So one quick plug, we are almost out of those slots for the 10 businesses to do the audit. So I just checked and I'm pretty much almost out there. So make sure and get your chance in now. We're gonna handle Lily and Ad Osborne's last question. Amber, yes, the recording will have everything. So they're a small marketing team with limited resources and time. What do you recommend as the sort of the first thing? What's the biggest bang for the buck they can do with prepping for SAIO?
So probably do the technical audit of your website, implement all like of the structured data, FAQs, like sections, etc., and the AET guidelines to your content. This is probably the first step. And Teresa, could you add here something?
Also ensure all the key information about your business is present on the website. For example, describe your founders, like who your founding team are, give their bios, top it off with structured data, like their specific structured data to describe founding, address, founder bio, founder LinkedIn page, everything, like be upfront. And also work on your online presence. Get registered on all the major business directories.
G2, Capterra.
Yeah, Crunchbase, Owler. Also, look at review platforms. Like you have to at least have profiles and ideally have reviews. So Clutch, Good Firms. There are some other alternatives for like service businesses, and for products that would be alternative to Product Hunt, similar. So ensure you have valid, widespread online presence and some good reviews.
Awesome. And final question, thank you, Pavlov, from Ad. He says, does a clear, concise, to the point shift on content mean that there's a change from traditional SEO practices on assessing article word counts, etc.? I think we covered some of this before, but it's worth a recap.
Yeah, I mean, we have some internal guidelines for ourselves. Depends on the type of the content we have, like let's say minimum amount of words that it should be. But in general, it's something in between, like 1,000 words up to 3,000 words, something in between. So it works.
I'd also say don't go too small. If it's not enough content, you risk creating a thin content page, which is harmful for SEO. So I'd say if you're like hesitant whether you should give a little information or a lot of information, rather go with a lot so that AI has a lot to parse and to understand and give context. So that's probably better than, if you don't have anything to say on the topic, just don't do it. Don't get into it.
Awesome. Well, guys, Orysia, Nikita, thank you both so much for your time and your expertise. Thank you for all the guests who came and all those fantastic questions. It's been a blast preparing this and just sharing it with you all. I hope you guys got a lot from it. I know I did, and you'll get the recording soon after. Looking forward to it. And for everyone who booked a meeting with me, can't wait to chat with you. Talk to everyone soon.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Bye. Thank you.